Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Villa Rava. For those of you who are new here, my wife Casey and I have spent the last 12 months building our dream villa in Bali, and we've documented the entire process on our channel here. If you're interested in building in Bali or investing in Bali, then go back and check out my other videos. But today in this video, I wanted to answer one of the most frequently asked questions that I get, and that is, how much does it actually cost us to build this villa in Bali? So building in Bali is something that the costs can vary wildly. So land can vary wildly, building costs can vary wildly, and it's going to be different depending on the time that you choose to invest. So we've built what you would consider to be on the luxury end of the market. So we've spent probably a little bit more than what we needed to, but we feel like the villa that we've got as a result of that is definitely something that we're very proud of and that we're happy to put on the market at the top end of the market. But yeah, I'm going to basically break everything down into pricing categories, and I'll go through them one by one to tell you how much I spent on each one and whether I think that it's something that you can still do today. So if you're going to build in Bali, the first thing that you're going to need to do is to acquire land. In Bali, generally, you have the option of either leasehold or freehold. Leasehold is the easiest option as a foreigner, but you can get freehold providing that you have a company in Indonesia, which is called a PT-PMA. We opted for leasehold for this villa, and we got the leasehold at 8 million Indonesian rupiah per ara per year. Now, one ara is 100 square meters of land. So it worked out for us to be about 72,000 Australian dollars. I'm going to put all the prices in this as Australian dollars because that's the easiest for me to work out. But if you wanted to work it out in your own currency, just jump on Google and convert it into your own currency. So 72,000 Australian dollars for the land, and that is for a 30-year lease on 3 ara of land. Now, it's worth mentioning that the area that we purchased our land in, you're not going to find land for that price anymore. Apparently, the land prices here you can find them upwards of 30 million per ara per year. But if you're willing to look in less developed areas, then you can get them as low as 2 or 3 million per ara per year. So it's definitely one of those things where if you do a bit of exploring, then you can definitely keep your costs lower with that. We thought 8 million at the time was a pretty good price, and it's turned out that this area has just skyrocketed in value. Now, the next thing on the list of things that we spent money on was legal fees and taxes. So those legal fees were fees to the notary for setting it up, taxes for the land lease, it was fees for setting up our PT-PMA, which is our business, as well as an investment visa, which I need in order to pay tax in Indonesia. And the total cost for all those fees was 8,500 Australian dollars. So the next thing on the list is the construction costs. Now, obviously that includes the actual building. It included all the architectural designs. It includes the pool, the decking, all the landscaping around the villa, as well as the actual building permits that we need in order to live in this place and rent it out. So yeah, it includes everything. It included the cabinetry, but it didn't include some things like the cooktop. It didn't include any of the furniture, any of the curtains. So it was purely the building and the surrounds, and that came to 229,000 Australian dollars. Now, obviously this is a luxury villa, so we chose more high-end materials. You certainly don't need to spend that much on a villa if you didn't want to, but we chose to have everything to be quite grand. We chose a 2-bedroom villa to be a lot larger than what a 2-bedroom villa needs to be. We had good materials like terrazzo. We had a lot of glass in this villa, as well as some interesting architectural designs that maybe cost a little bit more to implement than what it would have otherwise, as well as a very large pool. So $229,000 we thought was a reasonable amount for what we got, but you definitely don't need to spend that much on a 2-bedroom villa if you didn't want to. So the next thing on the list was the cost of actually setting up the villa. So we've got the land, we've paid all our legal fees and stuff, and we've got the building. So we need to come back here and we need to set it up. Now I've got my phone here because there's quite a lot to go through, but I'll go through them one by one. We spent weeks in Bali going through Denpasar, picking up different like things to decorate, all of the homewares, all of the furniture, everything like that. And if that's something you're interested in, I will be creating a booklet where I'll tell you all of the vendors and all the suppliers that we use to fit the villa out completely. That will be coming in a future video, hopefully not too far away. But yeah, the costs here. So the first section is homewares. So homewares are things like, I guess your ancillary things like your mops and your like your umbrellas and your like ironing boards and things like that. In total, we spent $2,048 on homewares. The next thing is kitchenware, so your glasses, plates, cutlery, cookware, all that sort of thing. We spent 579 Australian dollars on that. The next thing on the list is decorations. So all of the decorative pillows, all of the ornaments that we've put throughout the villa, that sort of thing. We spent 2,298 Australian dollars on decorations. We did have a lot of spaces that we needed to put decorations in though, so we did individually, each thing was very reasonably priced, but we had to get a lot of them to fill the space. The next thing is linen. Now, because this is on Airbnb, we needed 4 sets of linen for everything. So because we can house 4 people, we needed 12 sets of towels. Because it's got 2 beds, we needed 8 sets of linen for each bed, just so that you can make sure that there's 1 on the bed, 1 in the laundry, 1 on the shelf waiting to go on, and 1 on its way to the laundry. And it also means that if anything gets a stain that can't be fixed or anything like that, then they can just take it out of circulation and they've got time to replace it before they need to. So on linen, we spent $2,137, and we made sure that we got good quality linen. We made sure that the thread counts were high, we made sure that the towels were nice, so we didn't cheap out on the linen side of things. Speaking of not cheaping out, the next thing on the list is the mattresses. We made sure that we got really nice mattresses because we know that having a good mattress is essential to having a restful holiday. There's nothing worse than going on holiday and sleeping in a bed that's hard as a rock. So mattresses, we have 2 beds, so we've got 2 mattresses, and that was $2,185. And it's worth noting that with those mattresses, we did get some free pillows and stuff as a result of purchasing those mattresses, so that's included in that as well. The next thing on the list is curtains. So curtains weren't part of the build, we had to source them separately. And we're really happy with the curtains we've got. We got blackout blinds in the top bedroom, as well as blackout blinds in the bottom. And some of the, I don't know what they're called, like the slatted blinds, purely because it's such a wide window that we couldn't get the roller blinds for that one. But that cost us, what did that cost us? 1,820 Australian dollars for the blinds and curtains in the villa. The next thing is the signage. So the big sign out the front that says Villa Rava, we wanted to make sure that it was big and bold, and that anybody who is coming down the street when they're looking for the villa, they would be able to find it very easily. We thought that that was going to be quite a big expense, but it actually only cost us $273. So that was very reasonable, and we were so happy with the way that signage came out. Next thing on the list is the electronics. So we've got a big TV in the lounge room, we've got a really nice fridge, microwave, the cooktop and the oven, as well as some ancillary things like hair dryers and an iron, and we've got another fridge out in the outdoor area. All of those things we wanted to make sure we didn't cheap out on. We wanted to make sure that we had good quality electronics, because if we understand that you're spending a lot to stay here, and we wanted to make sure that when you come here, you feel like you're in a place of luxury. So we bought really good brand TV. We have a really, really nice fridge that can hold a lot of drinks and food and that sort of thing. So yeah, we didn't cheap out on any of that stuff at all. and the total for the electronics, it cost us $6,365. The next thing on the list is cleaning supplies. So when I say cleaning supplies, it's the cleaning supplies that you need to replace. So hand soap, shampoo, like floor cleaner, that sort of thing. All of that stuff we needed to buy initially to set it up, and then obviously we need to replace it as an ongoing thing as the villa continues. And that was $95 for several 4-litre bottles of different sorts of cleaning supplies and things like that. The next thing was the internet setup. So we had to organise the internet ourselves. The water and the electricity was connected as part of our contract for the build, but the internet we needed to sort separately. And just as an aside, I will say that the internet is very easy to set up by yourself as a foreigner. And in that booklet, I'll go through all of what you need to do to set it up and who you need to contact and that sort of thing. But the internet, it cost us $350 to set it up, and that included the hardware. So it included the wireless routers, and it included, I think, the first 3 months of internet access for free on a 200 megabit per second internet plan, which is more than enough for what people would need for like working from home and that, oh, sorry, not working from home, but you know, working while you're on holiday and that sort of thing. So, and finally, the last thing on the list is the plants. So the plants all around the villa were included as part of the contract cost. So anything that's planted outside was included as part of the build contract. And I think that was around $2,000 worth of the budget. So you get a lot for your money when it comes to that. But with these plants, I'm talking about the ones that we added afterwards. So we added pot plants in both bedrooms. We added pot plants on the landing upstairs, in the bathroom. We've got a plant in a pot out on the decking outside, as well as some pot plants out the front of the villa as well. And they're all in really nice terrazzo pots. So this includes the terrazzo pots as well. And the total for that was $982. So yeah, that was all the money we spent setting up this villa. The total cost for all of that was right around 345,000 Australian dollars. Now, as I said earlier on, you don't need to spend that much. This is a luxury villa. We wanted to make sure that we had high-end materials. We wanted to make sure that our furniture was really high-end. We wanted to make sure all the electrics are really high-end, and we made it a lot bigger than what you need to. We made the villa bigger, we made the pool bigger. It's got a much more lush garden than what you'll find in a lot of villas. But even so, at 345,000 Australian dollars, I think that represents a lot of value. It's probably a little bit more than what we had anticipated to spend, especially for setting the villa up. I think that cost us more than what we initially thought it was going to cost us to set the villa up. I reckon by almost double. I think it cost us almost double what we thought it was going to cost us, which is fine. We had the money there, but I would say if you're currently building a villa and you're planning to set it up, then make sure you budget a lot more than you think you're going to need, because there's a lot of little things that you just don't think about, and it does add up. A lot of it adds up. But yeah, that's the total cost of the build. Whether you think that is cheap or whether you think that it's expensive, it's obviously going to depend. All that really matters for us is that we thought that was a very reasonable amount for what we got. So yeah, if you wanted to build and you wanted to spend less, that's totally fine. You can easily do that. If you wanted to spend more, you can also spend more and get even higher end materials like a lot of marble and things like that. But yeah, that's our experience throughout this whole process. I wanted to make sure that we keep everything as open and honest as we possibly can, and I'll continue to do that. I've really enjoyed answering a lot of your questions. I've even met some of you in Bali, and it's been very enjoyable for me to do that. I'm really grateful that the information that we're providing is helping people to go on the same journey. But yeah, we will, like I said, I will be releasing that guide in the next little while. That guide will have all of the vendors we used. It will have the processes that we used in terms of leasing versus buying and setting up your PTPMA and things like that. Now, I certainly don't claim to be an expert on all of it, but where I'm not an expert, I will point you in the direction of the people who are experts who helped us in those processes. But yeah, I'll be putting that out probably in the next month or so. I'm not going to charge a stupid amount for it. I just want to charge enough for me to make the money back for the time that I spend putting it together and the time that we spend going around Bali. So yeah, definitely keep your eye out for that. We're also making a video later on today, but it'll probably be released in a week or so with the villa management team going through a lot of the other frequently asked questions. I just feel like the cost of the villa probably deserved its own video. A lot of the other frequently asked questions we can answer in one kind of 5-10 minute video. So yeah, keep your eye out for that one as well. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate the support. If you haven't already, definitely hit like, hit subscribe, because it does help the channel. What started as a very small channel is now growing quite rapidly. And the more people that subscribe, the more time that I can allocate to actually continuing to make these sort of videos for you. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support that we've been given so far. So thank you, guys, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.